Say it with me. I refuse to remain the same. Each day, I'm growing, learning, and evolving into a better version of myself. What I was yesterday is not who I am today, and I will continue striving to be the best I can be. The season has changed. Welcome to Unfiltered Grace. I am your host, Ntabi. Hey, Real Fam, welcome to another episode of Unfiltered Grace. I'm your host, Ntabi. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are here for the first time, thank you so much for joining. You will have a good time here. You will really understand that you don't need to be something that you're not. You'll just be yourself. You'll just flow and just feel that feeling. Get that feeling that you know what, you are part of the family. We are not here to judge or to make you be something that you're not. We want your authentic, unfiltered self. So that's what Unfiltered Grace is all about. Honestly, we all about just being raw and real and having real conversations. Things about, talking about the things that we feel, things that we go through without sugarcoating them and just being as real as possible. So, if it's your first time here, welcome. Please be a part of the family. Like this video, comment, and make sure that you are subscribed. This will help us grow this platform because more content like this would really be amazing. And also, the most amazing thing about Unfiltered Grace is that we will be bringing in guests over. So it will be nice if you can really watch the videos and just subscribe so that YouTube can recognize more of the videos that we do and recommend it to those that really need them the most, and of course for us to get that monetary value. I know that sometimes talking about that sounds cliche, but it is true, right? We need to sustain the platform. So I hope that you're gonna do that for us. Okay, so what are we talking about today? Before, let me just do an icebreaker. By now, you'd have noticed that I've been recording this video. I have this one hairstyle. If you have been consistently watching the episodes, and if you have, clapping hands to you. Yay! You're amazing. You are the real fam. But of course, if you haven't, you're still the real fam. You can still go back to watch it, okay? And I'll make sure that I'll leave the link to all the other videos, or the link to the playlist, basically. Okay, so don't be alarmed. And then another icebreaker or another thing is that you would have noticed that I've been really wearing black and white. This is the fourth episode, right? I've been wearing black and white, and I don't know, black and white theme happens to be really engraved in my head right now at this very moment. I'm not saying I promise to be wearing black and white all the time, because child, I have other clothes. I don't have just black and white clothes. I have more clothes. But I think the theme for Unfiltered Grace is really coming to us and just looking at life as black and white. Like, don't even try to color it, just it's black and white. Yes, you can color it and it can be colorful. You can blend it with other colors and it can look more prettier. And yeah, you can still, you know, you can still, yeah, embrace color within the black and white. But I think the whole concept was that, you know, just take life as it is, as simple as it is. Just take life as it comes. Don't try to fight it. Don't try to fight it. And I just wanted to simplify it in the most simplest way, because just take an example. When you go and do a copy of your certificate or your ID or whatever, um, you can do it in black and white, and it's okay. It can be visible and whatnot. So it's like, and it's cheaper to even do it that way, unlike you requesting to do it in color. So what I'm simply saying is that just do the simple things, like just simplify your life. I hope I'm making sense. That just simplify yourself, your life, and just be you and do you, right? That's all. And I must say I am loving the black and white theme. I'm loving it. I'm not saying I have all the black and white clothes. I'm actually running out. But you know what? A match is even coming. So we'll see. We'll see. When I have my guests over, listen, hint, hint, if you're watching and you're probably my next guest, it's okay. You don't need to wear black and white. This is just me. So you have to come as you are, unfiltered as you are. Listen, if you like a pink, a purple, gray, green, listen, all of that, just do you. Don't. This is just me when it comes to doing my podcast. So yeah. Anyway, getting into the conversation of today, real fam. I think I'm not sure which episode I did, but I spoke about just really touching more on my life and my journey and all of that, right? Okay, now I remember. Sorry, I got distracted because my battery is on 10%. But yeah, I understand why I've been recording. Okay, so this is the last video. So let me just be quick on this one. So on one of the episode I mentioned that your story is very important. Your story is important to someone out there. It's important to someone out there who's listening, someone out there who really wants to change their life, who wants to better their life, right? And never feel like your story has been told a billion times. And I think I pointed out, I think this was the first episode, if I'm not mistaken. And I pointed out that just because you feel like you've shared your story many times does not mean a lot of people know your story. No, a lot of people still don't know your story. They need to know your story, right? So never get tired of telling your story. And I usually say this, or there's this saying that I like, saying that your story might not be my story, but through our stories, there's so much that we can learn, there's so much that we can take. I don't have to tell my story the way you tell yours. I don't have to know what you're going through, or be a good storyteller, but I can listen to your story and I can find a piece of myself in your story, right? It's not necessarily how you tell your story, but your story and how it impacts you, how it inspires you, how it, what it does to you, basically. So that's basically what I'm trying to say. So real fam, what is my story, or what story am I gonna share? Because you probably have one or two stories, right? So my recent story um was my divorce story, me getting out of divorce and being in a position where I had to start all over from scratch, and how God has just been there with me throughout all of that. And also the fact that even though I find myself divorced, I still respect the union that I had with my ex-husband, and I maintain to respect him wherever he is, whatever he does. I respect him and wish him well. So that's one story, but this conversation is not about my divorce story. If you want to get more about that, there is a series that I did, and I remember the last video I did say that this is the last time I'm going to be talking about this. So now I'm talking about it because I'm just pointing out one of my stories. I'm not necessarily diving into it, but you will never hear me again talking about that. If you want to hear a bit of what I experienced, or yeah, what my story was, you're welcome to watch the videos. All right, awesome. So on today's story, I just want to share this. I want to share about what. Oh, guys, I had to pause there. Sorry. This is a beautiful garden, so peaceful, so quiet. Is a 16. It's actually not 16. Is 18:33, 6:33 in the afternoon or evening. Um, and it's just getting even more quieter because so I'm at this villa, Rosemary Hills. That's where I booked my birthday stay. And yeah, because they were working earlier, like now it's a bit quiet. I'm not hearing the sound of cars, but just peace, birds, like it's just peaceful. Sorry, I digress. I just had to point that out. Unfiltered grace. That's what we're about, okay? So what's my story? Which story do I want to tell? I think the story that I want to tell is the story of my life journey, or should I say, where it all began and how that has inspired a couple of people. I mean, I'll try to take bits and pieces because if I have to tell the whole story, it's just not going to make sense. It's just going to be too long, right? So, I think my fond memory is when I was in university, right? I started at a vet, not vet, but I started in Northwest University. And I remember that I used to struggle a lot with maths. And struggling with maths didn't just start in varsity, but it started in high school, right? We used to copy this friend of mine, Masarami. We used to copy her book and just write everything that she wrote. And that was bad because at the end of the day, we didn't do well in our maths. Even though I passed my matric, I didn't do great in maths. And it later catches on because recently I wanted to register with Verse University, but my maths was bad. And when you think about it, if I had practiced a bit more then, I could have probably done better, gotten better grades on my maths, right? Fast forward, in Northwest University, I was there for a good, was it 2 years or 3 years, guys? 2 or 3 years. So okay, basically I did three. I did my, what did I do? I did all my so I did computer science in Northwest University, and I finished all my what do you call this? All my computer science modules, even the third year ones. But I was struggling with applied maths and all of that, right? And then I decided to go to Tshwane University of Technology, where I ended up getting my diploma. And I remember, in Tshwane University of Technology, it was a little bit hard because I was far from home, but I just want to tell you the story or something that happened, right? So what happened there was that there were times where my dad would send me 500 rand to pay rent and to eat, to buy food and all that, and it was not always enough because I had to have clothes, do my hair and all of that, and I used to do my own hair. It used to be called yaki braid or something like that. It was like a weave kind of thing. So I would plait it. So I can plait my hair, by the way. So if you know me, you've watched my videos, or you've watched some of my Instagram or TikTok videos, the hairstyle that I had before this, I actually did it myself. So I can do my own hair. So fast forward, it was kind of hard until I decided that, you know what, I'm going to sell Avon. But before I sold Avon, this is what happened. Now, this is where the story gets juicy, or this is where the story is. I remember one Friday I was leaving campus, going to my room, and that time in my room I had, half bread and potatoes, and I think maelstrom, and I don't know if I had eggs. I don't think I had eggs because eggs were luxury. By the way, on a Sunday we would have eggs and rice and tomato sauce and mayonnaise. My ladies that the ladies that I used to stay with in my commune, Oh, how I miss Winnie, even may her soul rest in peace. She actually passed away last year. One of the ladies I was staying with, like, it's still a shocker to me. Yeah, 2024. Wow, it's still a shocker to me. But anyway, may her soul rest in peace. So, eggs were a luxury for us. Tomato sauce, mayo, that was a luxury, okay? So I had all of those things. And then I was walking out of campus, and this guy approached. He was driving a gray Megane. I remember it very well. And then he suggested that, okay, can I take you out for dinner? And I did not say no. I went with him. But at that moment, I thought about what I had in my room, and I was like, okay, so I can save the rest of the food that I have for tomorrow or for another day, right? So let me go. And guess what? I ordered a plate of steak and chips. Did I not clean the plate? Did I not finish the plate? I finished the plate. And at the end of that date, of our date, this guy gave me, I'm speaking so fast because my phone is gonna die now. The guy gave me 100 rand. And at that moment, I looked at that 100 rand. I'm like, okay, so if I can see him another time, he'll probably give me another 100 rand or more, maybe. All right. I gave him my numbers because I felt like, okay, he got me food and he gave me 100 rand, so he deserves my number. Red flag. No, no, you don't owe anyone anything. Just because someone decided to buy you something or do something nice for you does not mean you owe them anything. And if you're out there thinking that you owe someone something just because they did something, you do not. If they did it because they wanted to, great, but you do not. So take note of that, okay? So now, fast forward, a friend of mine, the date ended, I went home, he went home. I was excited. Next day, a friend of mine who now owns a more than 2 million house, love him to bits. He says to me, with that 100 rand, we buy quarters, we eating lunch break. I'm like, hey, this guy gave me 100 rand. Wah, 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 wah. And he asked me this thing. So, do you know him? Like, do you know much about him? And are you actually worth that 100 rand? Like, what more does he want and all that? And I started thinking, I'm like, okay, so it means if I'm excited about the 100 rand just because things at home aren't always great, my dad doesn't always have money to send me and all that, it means I'm gonna rely on someone else. And that time I'm on my, was it first year or second year? I think we were on first year, if not second. I'm not sure. I think first year, second time. I don't remember. Somewhere there, right? And then that stuck with me. And guess what I did? Fast forward, real fam. I started selling Avon, and selling Avon products allowed me to make money to buy myself pads, buy myself a pair of jeans at made the price, even do something nice for my siblings. I even got to be a sales rep and got bonuses month end when I had people under me. So Avon, I don't use it as often like I used to, but I was part of the business and it has really helped me, and I'm grateful to this day. And I shared a story about that. I'm grateful to this day. So, in summary, well, fam, what I'm saying is that just because things are not going right does not mean it's the end of the road. Just understand that your season shouldn't allow you to just settle for anything less than what you deserve. I could have been pregnant, could have had a child and went back home, but I decided to sell Avon and focused and graduated. That's my story. That's my story. I don't know what your story is, but to this day, I have people that get inspired by the story that I share. But all I'm saying is that don't let your circumstance or situation stop you from being the best version of yourself. Right now, I've built a home for my family. They are sitting, staying comfortably, and I love it for them. I had a vision and I fulfilled it.
Hey, Grace family, thank you so much for listening or watching. It was at this very moment when my camera died, but I hope you got the jinx of the message I was trying to put across. This is my story, and my story could have ended differently. I could have found myself relying so much into this guy who decided to give me 100 rand. And chances are I could have focused more on him and not on my studies, to a point where I got what results as a pregnancy or something like that. Because often you get people like those that are willing to just, take advantage of students and offer them money or whatever the case may be. The next thing, they leave them, you know hanging there. So I could have been sick. That's another thing. So I really had to choose myself. I really had to make the right choices. But I'm also glad that I got to have friends that were able to, redirect my thoughts when I thought, okay, something made sense. I mean, it was at that moment when we were even, eating quarters from that exact 100 rand that we got from from that guy. That, I was awake. I got an awakening from my friend to say, but what are his intentions? What more does he want from you? So what's the takeaway from this video? May you remember that you are worthy. May you remember that no one owes you anything and you don't owe anyone anything. Just because someone did something for you does not mean that you owe them anything. And also just be cautious of the people that you keep in your life, and even the decisions that you take in terms of doing something. Let it not be because you are looking at your current situation where things are not going bad and you are desperate. Because if you do things out of desperation, you will regret, Sana. Like, you will regret. So instead, make sure that you seek all the guidance. And if you are, out, you don't have, you're a student, you don't have food, whatever, listen, try to ask. I mean, I stayed in a commune. I could have asked the ladies that I stayed with. And in any way, it's not like I didn't have food. I had bread, I had maelstrom, I had potatoes. So if it meant eating potatoes each and every day until I got money from my Avon sales and my family, then let it be. So there's nothing wrong. It's okay. It's okay to be eating pap and milk every day. It's a sacrifice that you can put, because later on, I was able to get into a restaurant and order myself that plate of not even steak and chips, the most, you know, quite an expensive meal that I can order for myself, not even that. So you deserve so much more. You are worthy, and don't underestimate that. And yeah, just trust God and let Him be your guide. And yeah, don't be desperate. That's all I'm saying. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I love and appreciate you. Please subscribe and remember that the season has changed, and don't forget to make today count. Love you always. Bye.